How to master table manners. Could the way you hold your cutlery, behave at the table, or hold your glass be harming your image? In this video, I'm going to tell you some essential points for you to master table manners. I've even divided this video into 3 parts, and for you to really understand this content, it's very important that you don't skip any part of this video. First, I'm going to tell you about some basic points, then I'll talk to you about table manners, what you can do, what you should or shouldn't do. And then I'll tell you about some factors that can really harm your image when it comes to table manners. So don't skip any of them if you want to master this topic. Welcome to the Etiquette and Protocol channel. I'm Juliana Santiago, and today we're going to talk a little more about table manners. Well, first I want to share some basic rules with you so you don't get lost and can understand how table manners work. The first thing you should pay attention to is your posture. How do you sit when you're about to eat? Ideally, you shouldn't sit too far from the table. This will make the process much harder and might end up causing some food to fall on your body, your lap, or your clothes, which won't be elegant, and it also won't project good posture. Not to mention that it will be a bit uncomfortable for you while eating, and also for those who are watching and sharing the table with you. So how should you sit properly? Ideally, you should stay close to the table. Remember that at the table, there's no need for you to rest your back against the back of the chair. Imagine that you have a golf ball there, near you, and try to keep about that distance from the back of the chair to your back. So here I'm leaning back, here I'm not leaning back, I'm keeping a certain distance. That certain distance will help you have better posture, and you'll handle the process with more elegance. For you to master the basics of table manners, it's important that you understand the placement of the items. It might seem very simple to some people, but I know that many people don't know where everything goes. And why does that happen? Because here, for example, I only have a table for myself. I'm not sharing this table with anyone. But if I had a set table, for example, with several utensils, several plates, several glasses, many times you can get confused about what actually belongs to you, what you can use. So let's remember a few points about table etiquette. First, the forks are always on the left and the knives are on the right. The glasses are also on the right. The first glass will always be the one you use for water, followed by the glass for wine. Here I have a red wine glass and a white wine glass. The napkin can be placed in the center, like this one here, or it can also be on the left side. So you might be at a table where the napkin is on the left side. Don't take the one on your neighbor's right, take yours and put it on your lap, especially when it's a cloth napkin like this one. The cloth napkin may have a napkin ring, like this one here, or not. It might just be folded, a simple fold, something more delicate. About the plates, here's how we read them. First, I have the plate that will be used for the appetizer, then the main course plate, and this one here at the bottom. This base isn't actually a plate, it's a charger, which really just serves as a support for the plates, okay? Later, we can talk a bit more about the function of each item. If you want, I can come back and make a video about table setting, explaining each item and its function in detail. Here's an overview of the topic. If you're interested, leave a comment below, as I always check them. So we have the fork on the left side and the knife on the right side. But an important factor, and I'll even mention it here, is that the utensils on the outside will be used first. And the utensils that are closest to the plates will be used later. So here I have a fork and a knife that will be used for me to eat my appetizer. Then we have the main utensils that will be used to eat my main course. This arrangement also works with the glasses. So, since I have 2 glasses presented for drinks, 1 red wine glass and 1 white wine glass, we can assume that the white wine is probably meant to be enjoyed during the appetizer, and the red wine with the main course. The water glass can be a glass like this or a crystal glass. Here I brought this one, which is a very common glass that we see a lot nowadays. There could also be a regular cup here. To understand and master the basics, it's essential for us to think about the use of the napkin. Especially the cloth napkin is a very important element and can really help you stand out in your table manners. Because naturally, people who are more accustomed to using a cloth napkin show greater mastery when it comes to the art of table etiquette. So, if you have a napkin ring like this, you're going to place it here above the forks right here, okay? And you're going to place the napkin on your lap. This napkin can be folded or you can place it completely on your lap, okay? One thing I really recommend is that you don't place the napkin too far down on your thigh. Ideally, you should place it like this, more at the level of your belly button. Why? The napkin is going to be used for you to wipe your mouth when necessary, between the process of eating and drinking something, and throughout the entire meal. So, if you place it too much on your thigh, this process of picking up and putting the napkin back on your lap can end up being a bit more complicated, and it can also fall, which won't be very elegant and also won't show that you have mastered these processes. You should keep the napkin on your lap throughout the entire meal, and when you finish, just place it on the left side. There's no need to fold it, no need to use a napkin ring. Sometimes the hostess or the restaurant, if there is a napkin ring, might even remove it at the beginning of the meal. Regarding the cutlery, it's important for you to pay attention to a few points. You can use your dominant hand. So if you're more used to your left hand, you use your left hand. If you're more used to and have more control with your right hand, you can use your right hand. Many people believe that to have good table manners, you have to use your left hand. But that's very much in line with British etiquette. And since here we're talking about you really mastering the basics, do it in the way that makes you feel most comfortable. There's no point in thinking about eating with your left hand if you're not even eating properly with your dominant hand. So pay attention to that. And nowadays, there's also the American etiquette style, where we can, yes, use the fork in our dominant hand. But there are some points that are essential for you to notice and will never be acceptable. The first is talking while holding your utensils. So, if you want to talk to someone or drink something, it's important to remember to rest your utensils, leave them positioned on your plate. It's better to do it this way, and it will also project more confidence. Oh, and if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe here to the Etiquette and Protocol channel, and also make sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and other social media. I'm Etiquette and Protocol there as well. So make sure to follow us there, especially on Instagram. In the stories, there's always a lot of content for you. So don't forget to follow me there as well. Now we're going to the second part of our video, which is about table manners. I want to share some important points with you. Some factors are also essential for you to convey a good image at the table. The first point is talking with your mouth full. I know it might seem very simple, but unfortunately, it's a mistake that many people make, sometimes even without realizing it. So it's essential for you to notice if you eat and talk at the same time. Eating and drinking at the same time can also be unpleasant. So if you want to drink something, remember to swallow your food, wipe your mouth with a napkin, and then drink. Pay attention to these details as they make a big difference in the way you conduct yourself at the table. Also, avoid using toothpicks or any other item that could harm your image. The other day, I was talking to an acquaintance, a friend. She mentioned unknowingly using a toothpick, unaware it was wrong. It's important for us to pay attention, because there are some things that sometimes for you who are watching and like this topic may seem too simple, but many people end up forgetting. And I think this tip might be useful for someone who is watching me. Another thing that also really affects your behavior at the table is using your cell phone. So, avoid leaving your cell phone on the table. Also, avoid leaving your purse on the table, makeup, keys, anything that isn't part of the dining context should be kept somewhere else. Especially the cell phone, it's something that really affects our behavior. Later, if you want, I can make a video just talking about cell phones and the mistakes people make when using them. But at the table, the cell phone is a distraction that makes you always want to check your social media. You're always there checking what's going on, what's happening, what the latest news is. And we know we've been through a time when we were really far from the people we love, right? We went through a pandemic where we had to distance ourselves from a lot of people. We really miss those get-togethers, like having dinner, visiting someone's house, or going to a restaurant. So we know that this moment, that 1 hour we spend with someone, sharing and talking is something essential for our mental health, for our happiness, for our relationships, for our joy. So when you're with someone, it's essential that you are really present with that person, right? Forget your phone for a bit, put social media aside, and enjoy the moment. If you want to take a picture with your friend at the restaurant, or if you want to look at the menu, because many menus now have that QR code, which became really popular after the pandemic and is still very common, even though it's not my favorite type of menu. Just check it quickly, take the photo, and then put your phone away. Enjoy the moment and try to avoid using your phone during the meal, unless you're expecting an important call or if it's something that's really essential for you. It's important that when you sit at the table with someone, you let them know if you're expecting an important call. Maybe your child wasn't feeling well and you need to get information from the school and you're a bit unsure if they're better or not. It's important to let the person know so they understand it's just a specific situation, and of course they'll respect you. And if you need to take a call during a meal, if it's really something very important, ideally you should do it somewhere else and not stay at the table talking to someone else, because it can be unpleasant. But ideally you should take the call at another time if possible. Another factor that also greatly influences your image at the table is the topics you choose to talk about. Be careful with the topics you bring up during the meal. If you want to talk about something more delicate, more intimate, or something more important, the ideal is to wait until the person has finished enjoying their meal. So choose topics that are neutral. If you're not very close with the people sharing the table with you, the ideal is to choose neutral topics and avoid subjects related to religion or politics, which can end up causing polarization and breaking that atmosphere. The moment at the table is really a time to be enjoyed, to be celebrated, to be a moment of exchange. You don't want to bring up a topic there that could ruin the mood and cause controversy. After all, nobody wants to lose a friendship at the table, please. Another thing that will really help you master the processes at the table is understanding how to eat certain types of food. So, for example, mastering how to eat spaghetti, how to eat bread, how to have soup, all these factors with foods that are a bit different, foods that require a special way to consume, will set you apart and show that you really know your way around the table. In my table etiquette course, which is a training I created focused only on this topic, a quicker and more dynamic training for those who want to master the table process, there is a lesson about difficult foods and how you can manage to eat them. If you haven't taken this training yet, I'll leave it here below. It will be the first link in the description for you to click and join. It's a training that thousands of people have already taken. And table etiquette, guys, is like riding a bicycle. From the moment you master it, it becomes part of your daily life and you never forget it, trust me. And to wrap up, another thing about table manners that makes a big difference is really eating too fast or too slow. I know a lot of people think that eating slowly is more elegant, but we need to keep pace with the people who are at the table with us. So if people eat very quickly, it's not that you have to eat quickly with them, but maybe you need to pay a little more attention and be a bit more mindful about this, okay? So don't forget to pay attention. And if you eat too fast, if you notice that you're always the first one to finish eating, pay attention, okay? Because it's important for you to start eating more slowly. And if you're not sure, if you make a mistake, if you don't know whether you're slipping up or making a mistake with table manners, I've already made a video about common table etiquette mistakes that everyone makes. I'll leave the link here on the side for you to watch. That's it. See you next time.